White House imecost billions of money, and you wonder. Unasikia sijui the MPs were paid billions of money, and you wonder. Wewe mwenyewe sasa ukiangalia, and I'm sure many of us right now, we don't have money. Watu wengi hawana pesa. Sasa hizi unapata value ya dhao manze imeongezeka. Ukipata dhao like uko nao dakika 2 hauna hiyo pesa, because there is no money, and it's because of these very same policies zimeekwa. That's how from an economic theory inaweza explain. So the only thing before I stop speaking, nataka kuambia, go back, understand these fiscal policies, understand what is Appropriation Act inasema nini, understand what is a finance bill. Ask yourself, bona saizi vile Finance Act ya 2024 2023 ile kwa chini, why are you going back to the 2023 Act? You should understand these things, because if you understand how the economy operates, then government itawafinyilia. I can tell you people in countries like US, unajua ukikuja Kenya, those courses yenye watu wanataka kufanya sana sana ya medicine, engineering, but if you go to US, zile courses watu wanapenda kufanya sana ni something to do with business and economics, and that's why those people, no one can steal from them, because wanajua these basics of economics. But here in Kenya, most of us don't know. Mtu amefanya engineering atafanya economics maybe kama unit moja peke yake, maybe 45 hours only, na imeisha hivyo. So understand these basics. Akikuja kusikia watu wanasema mbona bottom up ajui ni nini, Raila anasema trickle down ajui ni nini, how does it affect them? So the only challenge I'm giving all Kenyans here, go and understand the basics of economics. If you understand the basics of economics, then Ruto atafanya mambo anafanya saizi. Muliona finance bill ile kumtishia, the guy was trembling because we touched where we should touch, hapo kwa finance, hapo kwa economics. Hata nilikuwa nasema wakati appropriation nilikuwa nasema people should have gone to the street, show these people we know how it is done, we know how it should be done, na hapo tutakuwa tunasaidiana. So I drop the mic.
Thank you so much for that, brother. You have really dissected it. MMSQ, and also that is quite educating. Data scientist, how are you doing? Mose?
Hello, PPT.
I don't know if you're in the microphone. Habari yako?
Niko salama.
I can't hear you, Mose. You'll have to reconnect.
Can you hear me now?
Kwenye mic. Yes. Mabibi na mabwana, this is Homeland PP. I see Maureen Magak, who's going to talk to us after this.
Social conversations, engaging topics on your phone, anywhere. This is Home Run with PP.
I think I'm going to have to recycle data scientist. You're listening to Homeland PP, ladies and gentlemen. We are about 38 minutes to the top of the hour. Maureen, how are you doing? Sijui kama Maureen ananipata. Unmute your mic, Maureen.
Niko hapa, Pipi, Mambo, and everyone on board. How are you guys?
Sana.
Kwanza kabisa, there's magic in this, because what time did I request mic and even accepted? Yo, is there a magician at the back end, Pipi?
Umejipata by force.
Anywho, I know, right? Anywho, I've been hearing people injecting a lot of sense, and all this time I've just been asking myself, hawa watu ambao wanatuibia, hawa wezi wote ambao wanatuibia, do they have another Kenya they are planning to go to? Because seriously, I'm asking myself, if we all exist in one Kenya, why would someone so sell a country anajua kwamba hata rule milele and still want to exist in the same, within the same people amekuwa akiwakanyaga? I'm like, what kind of mind are they using? Ama kuna rich mind na broke mind? Mimi ndo nathinki broke ama, because if that is the kind of an elitist mind, then it's so fake. I mean, so what I don't like most about this is the people that really promise so much, wakakaa ndani wakasema tukienda tutafanya hivi, after being there they're doing so much opposite, to the extent that they rather do it in the dark. When we wake up, it is already done, like this. I'm looking at people that are just up to serving their own interests. You saw how Gachagua'S impeachment was, the motion was proposed, And within like a week, it was a done and dusted deal. While we've been singing Ruto must go for like how many months? It falls on deaf ears. So that tells us that the people we have at the top there, they have no interest or no political will at heart for us, and you've already known that. So I think what I would, my cry is strategy. My cry is a lot of strategy, even as the we are joining hands in making sure that we have new vibrant parties that work for us. Now, the strategy will come in a way that is not just about forming party, but it is the readiness of that party to be active. For example, we are injecting at least wengine wakuta waache positions or whichever happens, but it's the party that is formed. For example, inject and everything. If I'm off topic, let me just inject. How ready are we to take those positions? Because there's one thing to have a collective, and there's another thing to be ready for the opportunity that comes in. Because I'm looking at a revolution that must have people who are ready to take part. I'm looking at a situation where we need to also do a lot of information huku nyanjani, in your village, in your mtaa. How many of your friends have ideas and they already know what to do, and they are saying, liwe liwalo, there's no psychophanry, we are not singing one name like it's going to feed us for a whole year. Yeah. And then now, because I know most of us, even where I come from, young people are really strong in, advocating for what they want, but ile action ndio inakuanga ngumu, especially for voting, kwa sababu voting power hatuna, we don't take ideas. So that's time to change. So how, from wherever you are, how are you making sure that at least each and every week there are sessions happening where you sensitize the young people, chukueni kura, and really go and vote? Because again, we have to say the truth. By not voting, you've already voted a big time, and that is not secret. To sanitize people to understand, it's not about mtu wetu. Hiyo mtu wetu ilienda kitambo. Now you are alone. You make decisions that will work for you. So from where I stand, I'm a very sad Kenyan, extremely sad with every bad thing that is happening. That I grew up when my shosho anaomba shosho mwingine mbegu apande, and that was all right. So right now, I'm at a place where if this is not happening, existing is going to be hard, like my predecessor friends, speakers have said. I'm looking at a place where jirani yangu sasa hivi akona, manyiwa, that a time is coming where I can't even borrow, I'll be jailed. Oh my goodness, I will march to that jail naked if I have to, because it will be very difficult for me to stop asking for jirani mbegu, or to stop farming with manure, because I'm waiting for one that is costly, that is going to monopolize the kind of, seeds my shamba grows. I mean, that is bullshit. And I wonder, this impeaks this, we have people who sat there and are passing these bills. Wanatoka Utopia, ama wazazi wao wote wanaishi Dubai. I don't understand people. I don't understand. Everyone who is here, ask your people at home. Leo hii, if you cannot omba mwenzako seeds, leo hii, if you cannot use your manure hizo za ng'ombe, like the Kenya is making it as a rule, you can't. How do you feel about it? Now, as I wind up, a war has to be finished by, if you are angry enough. In many spaces I get, people are telling themselves, don't be angry, my friend. Some of these changes, you have to really embark on them if you are angry enough. How angry are you? And some of the people say, no, don't be angry, you have to be level up. Ikikuchosha, ndio utapaza sauti. Kwa hivyo mimi, I'm angry. I'm very angry from where I sit. And there's no other Kenya. In fact, those who have been having their American dream, munaona vile kumechemka pia kule. Hakuna kwenda huko, hakuna dream huko. Dream ni hapa hapa. Let's suffer in making it work. Thank you so much, people and everyone.
All right, thank you so much for that as well. And of course, nimekuwahi lakini afadhali ulikuwa na content. Karibu sana kwenye show, Maureen, and thank you so much for that submission. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Home Run with Pipi. Karibu sana kwenye show. If you like what you're doing, of course, request the microphone and come and talk to us. Tumekuwa tukiangalia kuhusu what is happening in our country in terms of the economy. Yeah. and most of the times people either go to business or farming. Now, I think last week I saw a tweet. I don't know how true it is because I did not follow up. But last week I saw a tweet that somebody that right now gunia ya mahindi inauzwa 2,400 in Eldoret. I don't know if you guys know anything about that, but I would like to engage on that if you guys know that. Yes. And also data scientist, ukiweza rudi kwa mic itakuwa vizuri sana because you had something to say. Yeah. Hii wiki mambo yani kuna mtu amesema kwamba we are being served with hot takes every day, and it actually hit me to argue about. These days I don't even struggle with I don't struggle with content. It's there. So I want to go back to Newson. Nataka kupatia kama uko na rebuttal, a chance for you to talk to us. I've seen Dr. Nyango on the listener panel. If you can come over to the mic and maybe help us talk about kilimo cha haki. Yes, is it kilimo haki? Kilimo cha haki. Yeah. So yes. Chatone kwenye inaendelea pale kwenye comment section. Haya. Wanjira was talking about the location of the countries is interesting. We were talking about JP Morgan earlier on. And the same is interesting. Nigeria, Egypt, South Africa, and now Kenya, West, North, South, and now East. I want to guess the next location is in Central Africa. So, of course, there is that. O'Brien and ameweka hapo hivi GMO, the monster inside your food. Even in the US and other places like Europe, we have seen people have labels of GMO on their food packs. Why? Because they know, like, people want to go organic, but wao wanataka pia biashara zao za GMO ziwaka. And since they have been, where do they dump? Africa. And of course, we have very greedy politicians, so they will take anything. Daktari, habari yako?
Mzuri sana Pipi.
How are you? Well? Talk to us.
Great. I hope you can hear me clearly because I can see my network is acting up.
Yes, I can hear you. Talk to us.
Great. Thank you. Sorry. And for the forum, I can see we are talking about the state of the economy, and I have had people speak passionately for the few minutes I have been around. So I'm Dr. Duncan Onyango. I go for Kilimo cha Haki. I have had someone speak about agriculture issues passionately, reminiscing how we grew up exchanging indigenous seeds and using organic manure and all that. And that just caught my attention because it is an issue that is that I'm passionate about. And I hope all of you here have seen the campaign we are running on Kilimo cha Haki, talking about addressing those same issues, about the 9 agriculture bills that featured in our parliament that tend to take away our food sovereignty. Actually, that particular one that she's talking about already passed in parliament. It's a law. It's an act of parliament that is active right now. You are not supposed to exchange indigenous seeds. You are supposed to buy seeds from, licensed seed distributors. And those are the issues we've been talking about. So our campaign continues to be able to protect our indigenous seeds and foods. And I hope you've also seen my colleague and co-founder of Kilimo cha Haki, Mary Kathomi, actively break down these things to us on all on the media. So I would, in line with that, I want to extend an invitation to all of you to join our Kilimo cha Haki campaign. Kilimo cha Haki is a lobby group that has brought together thousands upon thousands of farmers from across the country. We are also having a lot of professionals in agriculture and other related professions that have come up to support our campaign. We have a big team of lawyers that have volunteered to help us pursue the legal action against these punitive and unconstitutional bills. And in fact, as we speak, there is a petition that we have been working on that is pending because we could not present it to Parliament and the Senate while this impeachment motion of Gachagua was going on. So we are actually likely to have it next week. And it's not just going to be a petition. We are planning a march. We are planning a peaceful but huge protest. We have other parts of the country telling us to get a nationwide protest. Going to lose all these indigenous varieties of not only crops, but even think about think about livestock. Think about your kienyeji chicken that you. When I go to my backyard in Migori and buy chicken in town, it is most likely to be an improved kienyeji, not the original indigenous variety that has its own taste that we are used to. So the dream we have is to be able to help Kenyans to not only fight these bills, but we are going to launch a campaign to be able to farmers on how we can be able to create seed banks and how we can also be able to conservancies for our local indigenous livestock. So you're going to be seeing a lot from us. And related to that, in the recent, you've seen also there's a campaign that our sister organization Taifa Mpya is running today that is so close to us because it affects our ladies, our girlfriends, our wives, our mothers, our daughters, and it has to do with the diapers and the sanitary pads, sanitary towels that our girls use. So for a long time, you will see these things being advertised very nicely, and we are made to believe that they are safe, and they are made out of 100% cotton. But a careful investigation into the contents of the material that constitutes the sanitary materials that our ladies use and the diapers that our children wear has revealed that they contain tens of very dangerous materials. Actually, number one, they are not 100% cotton, as we have been made to believe, including the most trusted and huge brands like Huggies and all these ones that the high and mighty in society who can afford them go for. So a campaign has been launched and it's going on. It's actually entitled "Sold by Trust, Sold by Lies, but Bought by Trust," because all these years they have sold them to us by lies, and we have bought them trusting that they are safe and secure for our kids. And convenient, because those of us who grew in the previous generations, we knew how kids used to grow up on napkins. But the convenience of Pampers or diapers came, and we ran into it. But now it turns out that these things are actually, some of the materials put us at risk of infertility, put us at risk of cancer, because some of the materials are carcinogenic and all that. So a team of lawyers already filed a petition in court. We will have a mention tomorrow, and the link has been given before Justice Chacha Mwita, and we are taking on these big brands that put these things and package them nicely and advertise them very attractively, and we go buying them trusting that they are good and safe and convenient for our consumption. So it's an interesting but dangerous perspective. Some of our X accounts have been already censured and suspended for running that petition. But we thank Kenyans because as we close the day, I think we started in the morning, and we have over 1,000 petitioners that have already signed, and the numbers are growing by the day, by the hour. So Kenyans, we have to be vigilant about this, the things, not only the things that we consume, but now it also turns out that these are the things that we wear and things that are so important and so personal and so close to us, because we need to protect our girls, we need to protect our children, we need to protect our society, we must protect our health for us to be able even to have a country, this better Kenya that we are fighting for. So thank you. I just wanted to highlight those two particular petitions that we are running. And when you hear the call to join us in the march for our food sovereignty next week, please turn up and support us by your presence and by sharing the petition and by just standing up and speaking against all these things. And if you have time, check out our petition on the ongoing petition that we're having before Justice Chacha Mwita tomorrow about the diapers and the sanitary pads. So thank you very much for the forum, Kenyans. The battle is not over. It is just the beginning. We have to stand up. We have to speak. But above all, data scientists knows that I always encourage them in every forum that we must go beyond speaking and complaining and pointing out the wrongs. We need a team of people, Kenyans of goodwill and Kenyans of integrity, who will step forward and put up appropriate strategies for us to be able to kick out these people from power at the nearest possible opportunity. Whether it comes earlier or we have to painfully wait until 2027. If we just wait complaining and outlining the problems, then we will be in a worse position. If Ruto is behaving like this in his first term, it's going to happen to us in the second term, when he will not want to be re-elected. So he will just do whatever he wants to do with us. And I think it is going to be worse. So ladies and gentlemen, we need a team of people who will come out to put in place strategies and step forward also to take over from these guys, take positions of leadership. If you can be an MCA, if you can be a member of parliament, if you can be a president, this is the time to come out. Because I see what is happening on our side of the political divide. And if we do not pause to think and to strategize and to write about what we want to see in this country, then the government of the day may simply succeed to scuttle us apart, just like the way they did to scuttle our street protests. So the same tactics I see, the way they began to sow division amongst us, and we started. That is the same thing that is now happening. When they see any attempt at serious organization and strategy towards occupying places of power, then they will begin to call us name and set us up against each other. And that is already happening. We saw how scenes were ugly in the last weeks, people talking about malls, people accusing each other. And now our camp, we just end up fighting against each other. Yeah, we have people here who have gone to school. We have strategists. We have political scientists. We have professionals across the board. Why don't we come together, sit down and help our people with the strategy and organization, strategic planning. We have to be smart, politically smart, and street smart, so that we can be able to survive against this regime. Otherwise, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be here still doing a debrief after 2027 or after the next any general election. So thank you, people, for what you're doing. You've been very consistent since this revolution started. Now we want to see people coming out of these movements and people to step out, team up, like-minded Kenyans, young people, people of integrity, people across the ages. Yeah, if we can't work together and sit down and draw a proper strategy so that we convert our movement from, we don't run one man's shows, to build a formidable people's movement. I was telling some friends of mine that Baba, by virtue of the things he has done, has already lost his position as the people's president. So we need to organize ourselves so that we can occupy that position as we wait to occupy the ultimate position of the constitutional president of the Republic of Kenya and all other elective seats. And sometimes I was challenging some friends of mine because we may focus so much on the president alone. Yet we forget that this is the time for young people, emerging leaders, not only young people, but emerging leaders from across the ages, to come out and strategize to occupy that MCA position in your village, to strategize to be able to go into that parliament. Because if our parliament was working straight, Ruto wouldn't be taking us for a ride the way he's doing to us today. In fact, I was telling some young people that the same thing Parliament is doing to Gachagua, that is how they are supposed to be treated, to be giving Ruto. The same way those MCAs are giving that lady, that governor in Meru, sleepless nights since she's got into office. That is the position our Parliament is supposed to hold with our president. So if we just spend all our time complaining about Ruto and we do not step up to identify, nurture, and radicalize alternative leadership from amongst us, then we are going to be in a worse position in 2027. If Ruto gets back to power with this same crop of leaders in parliament, he is going to be bolder. He is going to be more lethal than ever before. And I don't know where we shall run to go and hide. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us arise beyond speaking on these spaces to be able to organize and strategize and take this message down to the grassroots in a serious campaign that will destabilize and remove this regime from power in the next time we have an opportunity to go to election. So thank you so much, and may God bless you. We fight on.
Thank you so much, Daktari, for that. And you by you saying that, you just reminded me something. Tomorrow, I announced it on Friday last week on the town hall. Tomorrow, I'll be giving a free microphone, okay, to anybody who is looking to be an MCA, an MP, a women rep. I don't know if you guys remember that, but I told you, kama uko na ambition, whatever you will be, kama unataka kuwa MP Wajir, unataka kukuwa MCA, ama unataka kuwa MP Kuria West kama mimi, you come here and tell us, this is the problem I've identified. We want problem solvers for leaders. So ukuje hapa hivi tuambie, this is the problem I've identified, this is how I'm going to do it. Alafu watu watakuambia kama you're onto something or not. So remember that. Kesho, kutoka 4 p.m. all the way to 9 p.m., I'll give you a chance, young leaders, to come and speak to us. Because I've realized that we are making a lot of noise, and I'm very happy what Daktari is doing with Kadhomi, by the way. They are not just speaking, okay? For me, this is a media platform, but we cannot only depend on media platforms, Okay, we also need to get off this platform so that we can have something to report in the form of progress. So thank you so much, Daktari, for what you're doing. Of course, hiyo siku yenye mnatoka out the streets, we are going to come here mtuambie watu watoke wenye wanaweza kukuja wa join. Of course, Kadhomi has also been part of our family here, and leo nilikuwa nataka kumuona kwenye show but imekataa kumconnect. It's like amekuwa hacked or something. So yeah, but I want to finish with Sheila. Sheila, what's up?
Thank you. Simu yangu sijui inafanyika nini. The internet is dropping on and off. I love to be there at Daktari space. Unfortunately, kesho I also hold a Tuesday update space tukiongelelea hiyo punguza mizigo and other, but immediately isha cause ni 6 to 8 I'll come and join you on this one. I think all of us should do public participation. Alafu to support one another. I wanted to give an example zenye tunajua of the government's failed fiscal policy. Affordable housing is one of the failed fiscal policies zenye tuko nazo. They keep highlighting how the Juakali sector imeimproviwa, but remember, Juakali is a complementary benefit of what the purpose of affordable housing was, which is to provide dignified and affordable housing solutions to Kenyans. Hakuna nyumba hata moja tunaona Mkenya ame-own from the affordable housing program. So that's a failed fiscal policy that we can see. But I think Kenya's economy has the potential for a lot of growth. First of all, the government needs to find a way to tap into the creative economy. How do we empower the creative economy? Number two, how do we help how do we bring together the diaspora, their skills, their expertise, because they have a different exposure? How do we bring them back to Kenya? How do we incorporate them in our economy? Did you know that the diaspora remits almost 600 billion annually? Lakini hiyo pesa si ati yote inakuja kwa government, ama si yote inakuja into the national coffers. Most of it inaenda kwa rural areas, inaenda kwa family and friends, but obviously inaendanga kwa biashara zao. Maybe kama wanajenga nyumba, there is some money that goes to the government through the VAT. Alafu in the same depth of incorporating diaspora to improve our economy, we need to reduce the remittances. Apparently yetu ni 23%, one of the top 5 highest in Africa. Ile kutuma pesa back through the bank, through M-Pesa, through any money sending platform, we have one of the top highest. We are following, I think, Nigeria, Egypt. So one way we can improve our economy is by incorporating the Kenyans in diaspora in terms of their skill, not just remittance peke. We need to tap into we also need to tap into the creative economy. Hii maneno ya kutax digital that will only give us tutatafuta tu njia za kuhepa hizo vitu. So the people in government need to come together and find better fiscal policies, find employment opportunities for us as the youth and also other Kenyans. Also, how do we tap into the enablers? By enablers, I mean wase wenye wameretire. For example, watu kama diplomats, retired diplomats, they know what is out there that Kenyans can benefit from when they are back home. Unajua. So that's another thing we need to do. Number 3, we need to improve our food security. If I can eat and I am full, I can think. We need to tap into that. We need to tap into our ICT. The government haija to engage enough. Imagine if you don't know somebody, hata watu wenye wako hapo maybe hawajasoma. Alafu it goes back. Watu wenye mtu anapewa docket ama umeingia kwa program ya ICT. That's not even your background. Maybe ulifanya computer packages. So now you think you're an ICT person. They need to find a different structure. And lastly, us as Kenyans need to look critically and intensively at the quality of people we choose to represent us. Watu wengine hata mimi nilichagua Jalango finance bill hakuwa na interpret your finance bill ngo. Mtu Jalango alikuwa hapo anaiangalia, ana smile, anacheka tu. You know, he actually I think even voted no because aliangalia public. You know, most people in Langata are learned, but what about people who are not learned uko mashinani? how do we ensure that they choose the right leader? Is by ensuring that the education system is working for everybody. Kama niko huko Mount Elgon, CBC inanisaidia nini? Basi itanisaidia huko. How am I mtu chupa za maji atipekele bottled water? Niliona aunti yangu anafanya some project na mtoto wake, chupa ya maji za bottle, hizo ma bottle top. Mtu wako huko Mount Elgon huko kwa kijiji anatoa wapi bottled water? Where are they going to collect those things? So we need to diversify the solutions that we have for the people of Kenya, and I think we are on the right track. Public participation, then mwenye ako next na wewe anajua MCA wake analipwa pesa ngapi, anajua MCA wake anafaa kufanya nini. Kama ni barabara ya estate yenu, did you know you're not supposed to changa money ati mtengeneze barabara ya estate? That's not your role as people of the estate. Ako ka barabara iko na mtu mwenye anafaa kuijenga. There is a procedure. So we need to be, I think it is right that now we know, unajua tumetoka kwa civic education, now we are in political education where we are learning about ideologies. The first ideology we've broken it down over. It's impoverishing us. The moment they make us poor, we become beggars. A beggar has no choice. So we need to understand what their political ideology is. This hustler narrative, what is the solution? Solution ni gani? Kama nitataka kuchagua the right person, kwanza mimi nilikuwa nasema hii maneno MPs, why don't these leaders, juu after wame impeach Gachagua wanataka kukuja among us, they eat among us, they worship among us. We need to shun them away. If you're not for us, go and stay. Sijui kwa nini wapendi kukula na kukunywa pamoja na kutravel pamoja. Washindange hivyo. If it is even possible, they make their own county and stay there. I am very angry at these people. We should not entertain. Hata mimi rafiki ya mtoto wa MP sitaki kwa friend yake. Enda ukae huko na baba yako na mama yako. Mkae huko kwa hiyo familia yenu mtengeneze. We need to make life hard. They need to be unable to live their social lives. Kama ni mkae majuu forever basi. So in short, for me, I'm very angry, and let's keep the anger going. Educate the next person. When you're next to you, muulize, why do you feel? Kuna dem aliniambia, a certain lady, we were just talking about the constitution. Akaniambia, there is nothing we can do. She was feeling helpless. Nikamwambia, this can't be a war for one day. You think you'll wake up one day and say Ruto must go, or you'll wake up one day and say Chief is bad and then it will go? No, it's a continuous fight. It's continuous because the system is broken to uko ndani kote. Alafu nimesema lastly mara mingi unajua kwa umejaa vitu mingi zinakujamisha. Watu wenye wanasema we can fight all these things pamoja. Hatuwezi sema ati we are now, no one is only focusing on impeachment. It's the media that's focusing on impeachment. The rest of us are focusing on everything. We are talking about education, we are talking about health, we are talking about agriculture, we are talking about the foreign policy, we are talking about our freedoms being infringed. So it's okay.
Hivyo ndo umedrop mic Sheila ama ni mimi? Well, it looks like we've lost Sheila. Nixon, can you hear me?
Yes.
That activist, can you hear me? Allah, is it me or is it?
I can hear you. Pipita, unasikika vizuri sana.
Wasikika, ila sasa umefunga maiki.
Pipita, umezima mic.
Yes.
Umezima mic.
Nilikuwa nina refresh bwana. Nilikuwa nimepotea.
Pole.
Yes, anyway, asante sana. Nixon, sijui kama uko na final words for us.
Oh well, kwa kufunga, technically economy yetu si yetu. It's being run from somewhere else. From the rating and every other thing that is involved, kuja kuprint pesa yenyewe, controlling that money, people who make policies, we are not in control of our economy. And so we have a long way, but again, a journey of 1,000 miles begin with one step. And so these are the first steps zenye tunaanza, so that in the near future, we see a different Kenya. We see a Kenya which is fully independent from
Newsom boy. Newsom. Allah. This one cannot be me. Maureen, unanipata?
Amepotea.
Oh.
Simpati.
Hey, kidogo niangushe mic bwana. Newsom, hebu rudi umalizie your final word. Okay. Sawa. Maureen, uko na any final words for us?
Yes, I have a burning final word, and it is, I'm preparing to go to a funeral of a madman. My only worry is, nikifika kule, they'll ask me how I know this madman, and I'll not know what to say. And that is to say, tunaishi in Kenya right now, tukisema vile siku itakuwa, wacha nikajaribu. We are so worried, we don't know what to do. Mental health imeanza kukick in, spiked by the status of the nation, vile hawa wanatucheza. And that is not cool for Kenya. And therefore, let's keep waking up, let's keep injecting strategically, because it will be well if we keep injecting. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Maureen, for that. Data activist, what are your final words for us?
Thank you, Pepe. My final words are this. There's a quote I've been giving, guys, and it goes something like this. The greatest fear in life is not death, but to live life without purpose. So my challenge to everyone is, what is your purpose? Even in this movement, what is your purpose? Because everyone can do something about the movement, about what they are seeing going wrong. No matter how small it is, you can do it. And what appears to be small may not necessarily be small, but everyone has a role to play. So my call to you is, what is your role? And if you don't have a role, DM me. I'll get you a role. Thank you. Back to you, Pipi.
Thank you so much for that. Nimesikia umesema kwamba wewe ndio unapeana roles. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, for those who don't know, tomorrow I'll be sitting with the MCs, MPs. Kama unataka kuwa governor, kuja kesho. Ukuja uniambie vile unataka kutoa Lonyangapuo kwa kiti. Yeah. Nataka kusikia hivyo. So kuna tweet nimeweka hapo hivi Tuesday on HRWP will be giving young leadership hopefuls a chance to speak up on their plans. If you're an MC, MP, MCA, governor, women rep, join the show and talk to us. Help me by retweeting that. Help me by retweeting that before we call it a night, as Dr. is giving us his final submission for tonight, as we call it a night. Dr. What are your final words for us today? Dr. Either? Sijui kama daktari ananisikia. Data activist ananisikia?
I can hear you, Pipi. I can hear you, Pipi. I'm trying to
Okay.
get a hold of Daktari. I'll let you know. Give me a minute.
Hello, data activist. I can hear you now.
Okay. Go ahead. Pipi was calling you. Go ahead.
Yeah, sorry, I lost you. It's on and off. Pipi, if you could just let me know what you would want me to do.
And I wanted you to give us maybe final words before we call it a night here. Sijui
I'm not
kama
able to
daktari
hear
can hear me.
Pipi.
Data
Data
activist mwambie.
activist.
Yes, he can hear you. Okay, let me tell him. Daktari, we are doing the final words. So would like to know what are your final words as we close up.
Oh, thank you. I hope you can hear me, although I'm not able to hear some of you. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so my closing words would be just as I said, actually, recently in the past few days, I have shared this with the data activist that I actually challenged myself to sit down and work out a strategy, work on a strategy document that I am willing to share, interested in crafting a proper strategy towards a grand takeover of political leadership in this country. Because we had a space some time back, it was entitled Grand Takeover of Political Leadership in this country. But I have not seen, I have been in many groups, one after the other, trying to see what people are doing towards getting the change that we want in this country. And I am disappointed to note that I am yet to come across a group that is so strong on strategy. Yeah, we have been very good at mobilization to the level at which some of us who are at the helm of the movement have been able to come to the national limelight and build a very good national profile. If only we could be able to add strategy and organization into it, bring in, this is the time to bring in the best political minds that we have in this country. And people of integrity, some of whom have walked this journey before us, and sit them down to mentor and to be able to strategize. By now, we should be having an alternative, we should be a government in waiting. We should be having an alternative manifesto. We should begin to tell Kenyans, we are saying these guys must go, and this is what we have to offer in return. Yeah, we have been talking about education. We have been complaining about the funding model. Can we sit down and look into our education and tell Kenyans, when we remove these guys, this is how we are going to run our education. Right now, with I almost said she and Shah, Shif and Shah, can we now get into a level where we can sit down, put our minds together, and be able to tell Kenyans that this is the dream health sector that we are going to run. This is the time to tell Kenyans that we have been complaining about devolution. When we remove these guys from power, this is how we are going to do devolution and implement it in the right way as the Constitution Kenya 2010 envisaged. And these are the changes that we think should work. So this is the time to be able kujipanga. Na siasa ni kujipanga. Yeah, Ruto tayari amejipanga, akajipanga mpaka na baba. Sisi kama hatutajipanga tutabaki hapa tukitusiana na kulaumiana na kudeplatformiana and doing all those manner of things. We will just deplatform each other. And in fact, I think where Ruto sits, he looks at us and he must be laughing. Wanadhani kwani hao watu, what do these guys think we are? Do they know that I have been in this game since YK92? Do they know that I learned from Moi? He looks at us, what do these Gen Zs think? Yani I think where he sits wanatuangalia wanaona kwani hao watoto wanadhani wanaweza amka tu siku moja na wachukue serikali. Do they think it's that easy? You know, I just imagine in my mind that is how they look at us. Yeah. You know, when you can imagine how you feel when maybe somebody comes, a small person, zile siku tulikuwa tunapigana physically when we were in.
Okay, is it just me or can anyone else hear Daktari?
Amedrop kabisa.
Na venye alikuwa na inject vizuri.
One.
Let me try and get a hold of him.
Nikampigia simu.
Social conversations, engaging topics on your phone anywhere. This is Home Run with Pippy.
Into the mobilization that we have.
Continue, Doctor. We had lost you for a moment. Asante sana kwa tune in kwa Home Run with Pippy. I think Dr. Activist will use you to tell Daktari Asante. We will be here tomorrow. As you've known, tomorrow is a chance for you, if you're a political aspirant and also as a citizen. I want you to come here and tell me what you expect from your leader. And of course, if you're looking to be an MCA, MP, governor, and or whatever, just come to the mic tomorrow and tell us, this is what I've identified for the people of Kajiado North. And as I am planning to be the MP, I'm going to use this strategy. According to the CDF, tunataka tuone kama ni leaders tuna elect ama ni watu tu wako na ma feelings, because we need to be sure. So kuna kuja watuambia, this is what I have planned for my people, and then now we talk from there. So that is going to be happening tomorrow. Remember to retweet that tweet that is on the Jumbotron right now before we close it. Acha niupate 5 minutes. Tuko watu wengi bwana. Yes, I just need to get at 10 reposts tuko 5. So 5 people mwenye waja tweet hiyo post yenye nasema kwamba Tuesday, tomorrow, we will be seated here with people who are hopeful to be on the ballot in 2027, because as you are saying, tunajaribu to inject, but there is also that opportunity that we might not be able to get this guy out before 2027. So if that happens, what happens for us if we don't have leaders? So it's time for us to start grooming new leaders so that we can also have to understand, are we changing leaders or are we just changing the same people? So yeah, that is the plan for tomorrow. Thanks so much for everybody who has tuned in to Home Run Pippy today. It has been a great conversation. The talk around finances has been amazing. The bills, of course, kilimo cha haki, of course, pulling up kina daktari. It was great. Thanks so much for being here. I'll meet you tomorrow at 4 p.m. kama kawaida for that State of the Nation Tuesdays, as of course we will be following up on the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua. Also, news from Kericho: the impeachment of Governor Mutai fell through after he raised an objection in the Parliament in Senate that there was the 2/3 threshold of MCAs was not met in the impeachment meeting that happened. So that is how he survives impeachment. Mutai goes back to Kericho governor directly. So the one that you're looking forward to is the impeachment of the one and only Rigathi Gachagua. That will be on Wednesday. Of course, you know we have live coverage for that. We will be streaming through them to skize tu kenye wanasema all through that hearing. Of course, that is much of what we are doing. Thank you so much for those people who are seeing and tweeting that tweet on the Jumbotron. Of course, as I always say, Home Run Pippy is supported by you, the listener. Nyinyi ndio mnaweka taa zetu zinabaki on hapa. Kwa hivyo, if you like what I'm doing, kuna tip jaline 8229 yenye unaweza to support. Kwa hivyo, mbaki salama. See you tomorrow. Be safe, guys.
You are listening to Home Run with Pippi. Weekdays from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m.